So, this past 24 hours, Dawn Robinson came forward and she decided to get honest with her audience, her viewers, and her fans to let people know that this is her third year of actually living in her car. But if you know her story and you follow her on YouTube and you watch her past testimonies in her YouTube videos, you will find out that she's been speaking about this for a while. So to everyone else, it went viral. This was a new story for them. This is a new topic, but this is not. If you follow her on YouTube, you might not understand that she's been going through this whole hardship for a while now. And for some reason, this video had went viral out of nowhere. But, Dawn was a member of En Vogue in the 90s. You know about Hold On to Your Love and, all of the hot 90s songs that was out in the early 90s. I was a child, of course, 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, dancing to this music, of En Vogue. I loved En Vogue growing up. Dawn can sing down. Dawn Robinson can sing down. But if you know her story, you understand that in her story, in her testimony, she spoke about how as her journey as being a group member in the group En Vogue, the first album, they did phenomenal. Hold On blew up. The charts blew up when En Vogue hit the stage, even when the video came out. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. Everyone knows that song. If you don't know En Vogue, you didn't grow up in the household in the 90s with millennials. So, Dawn came forward and she said, listen, during the second album, when they was touring, they was making hits, and they was on that stage, going from city to city, state to state, country to country, promoting their album, promoting the song, she got tired of getting paid 3 pennies a record. That's right, guys. She was getting 3 pennies a record in her music. The first album, for some reason, they said they agreed to it. They said that, it should make up for the shows that we do, and we'll make up the money somehow or another. But she realized that when the second album came out and they were making the second album, it was doing so well. The first album did so well. She started to notice that, the management company, they was buying mansions. They had marble floors. And here she was, they making a second album, and she couldn't even pay her mortgage. She spoke about that in her testimonies in an interview. She even said, I had to move back in with my mom. All of the managers and the record labels, it was making all of these millions and millions of dollars off of us, and we were still getting paid 3 pennies a record. How can I survive in this group if I can't pay my mortgage? And that's real. She said they was giving us less than 1% commission on every record. If you know the music business, you know about the commission split. When they say less than 1%, that means they can pay you 3 pennies on a dollar. 3 pennies a record, 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever they want to give you, which is completely chattel slavery. But everyone's dragging her. Oh, she's this, she's homeless, she's that. Listen, we should not handle her like that at all. Because if you know her story, if you follow her story, she said this several times. She was blackballed, disbarred, disregarded, and discarded because she spoke about it on the second album. Like, listen, I'm getting tired of getting paid 3 pennies a record. What are we going to do? She spoke to her band members, Cindy, Maxine, and they wouldn't speak up. They wouldn't really have her back at the time. Some of them was getting married to producers. One was getting married to a football player. And she was like, yo, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't be getting paid 3 pennies a record. So they banned her. The record label tried to say she had mental health issues. And she was like, no, I got tired of being broke. She got tired of being paid 3 pennies a record. She said, I couldn't even pay my mortgage. Okay, so if you follow her journey, you follow her story, you would know that Dawn was the first one to come out and let people know, we're not getting paid, man. We're starving artists. And if you know the stories about TLC, New Edition, a lot of these artists are fighting for their copyrights. They're publishing their masters. They're fighting tooth and nail. Some of them even passed away and died fighting for that masters. So they can enjoy their fruits and labors when they get of age and enjoy their royalties. But according to Dawn, those royalties never came. It was like she was working for the record labels and they wasn't paying nothing. They wasn't paying enough. And then when she spoke about it, like, yo, I don't want to get paid 3 pennies anymore doing these records. I'm singing my ass off every night. I'm on that stage, man. And like I said, in Vogue, every group band member in that group can hold their own. Everyone can sing down. Dawn can sing down. Even when she transitioned and when she went over to Lucy Pearl and Raphael Sadiq, she said, listen, I still wasn't getting paid. I still wasn't able to make my mortgage, you know? So some people reached out to her, sent her an email. I sent her my email as well, give her some information that she probably should take a look at. But for people to drag her the way they did and how they handled her because she admitted that, hey, I'm living in my car, we don't handle her like that. You have to follow her story, understand about this chattel slavery that goes on in the music industry. Even Bobby Shmurda was talking about how he was getting paid less than 1% commission on his records, and the record labels was the one that was making all the money. But listen to Dawn's story. She talked about getting paid 3 pennies on her records. So before we judge about her being, homeless, listen, any one of us can be homeless at any given time. Okay? It happened to me in 2012. I became homeless myself for 3 years. Okay, so I understand what Dawn is speaking about. But to make fun of her when you didn't even follow her story, you didn't even hear her testimony and not hear about her getting paid 3 pennies a record, man, that has to be studied. Because a person that's speaking up about chattel slavery, and she's been doing this since the early 90s, En Vogue is one of the biggest groups out there in R&B. And I said to myself, you know what? She needs to start booking shows. She needs to be booked. This woman can sing. That lady can sing, man. But I don't know if she still wants to perform because, they always kept saying, oh, she had mental health issues. No, she got tired of being paid 3 pennies a record and financially being abused and being exhausted from not getting a paycheck that was going to be able to afford her a quality life with the talent that she has. So think about that chattel slavery. 3 pennies a record, less than 1% commission before you sign to these labels. Because if it happened to Dawn, it happened to TLC, it happened to New Edition, it could happen to you. Keep coming back. More to be revealed.